Hi, my name is Joe. I'm the modern day psalmist. This video replies to the guy down the street. Well, to the guy down the street, I don't know where you came up with the comment of saying I don't know anything about tone, or guitar tone like you would call it, or how you would kind of boast about boutique pedals and stuff like that. Well, I got an answer for all that. Number one, you, sir, don't know anything about being a guitarist. The difference between a guitarist and a guitar player is that, number one, a guitar player follows a trend. A guitar player doesn't study theory, he doesn't know his scales, he only knows how to play songs, he only knows how to read off tablature. A guitarist knows theory, he knows his fretboard, and not just that, he doesn't need tablature to figure out music. Okay, now, another thing about a guitarist, they don't buy what's popular. They only search for the tone that's in their head. If you don't believe me, ask Eddie Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen will set you straight on that. You may say his tone sucked, but if you told him that his tone sucked, you would be in for a big surprise of how much he's into tone. Just because I don't promote maybe what you have, or I don't have, or what everybody else has, it doesn't make a difference. Every guitarist has their own different means of having equipment. In this case here, the amp behind me, a PV. Yes, a PV. This PV was built with the sound of a 5150, but it also has sounds of a Marshall, also sounds of a high gain amplifier. Also has a clean channel that has a crunch channel, a modern channel. It also has a vintage sound too. Now, in conjunction with my pedals, the reason why I have such a simple setup is because of the music I currently play. Yes, metal. It doesn't require very much. Yes, I like my setup to be somewhat elaborate, but it's simple and it's easy for me to use. Okay? And two, yes, I agree with you regarding the RP 335, or actually in my case, the RP 250. Sure, I had the RP 2000 when it first came out. Wonderful pedal. I love it. But what other guitarists are going to do with 40 different presets when some of them basically just want to use a stomp box or a distortion pedal? Think about that. Or some guys want to get a Line 6 amp, or in my case, or a Behringer Vampire amp, or a PV Viper. Now, sir, if you are a real guitarist, that would have never came out of you. A real guitarist always respects another guitar player's sound. Sure, I don't like what everybody else plays. Matter of fact, you know what I think of Mesa Boogie?
I think of it just like this.
When the 5150 has more of a fuller sound, and it doesn't sound brittle. Now, I'm using a 7-string. I'm using a 7-string because it has the sound of 2 guitars. But there's one problem. Maybe guys like you are afraid to get out of the 6-string atmosphere. Sure, I was like most 6-string players. I was afraid to jump into the 7. But once I jumped into it, man, there was a world of possibilities. Now, sir, to you, the guy down the street, one thing I got for you. Before you start judging any guitar player or want to be promoting your arrogance, your ignorance, why don't you read magazines like Guitar World, Guitar Player Magazine? Read all those publications, and you're going to realize and see for yourself that every guitar player has his own distinct sound. This is the modern day psalmist.